Hey, you guys, it's Megan from Create Your Future. I'm a manifestation coach, and if you're interested in me helping you manifest anything you want in your reality, please check out the description and links below. I think I have a couple availabilities still for July, so definitely check that out. Also, I have a couple of self-paced courses if you are interested in looking at those and doing some self-paced courses. Those descriptions are also linked below. So you guys, today I'm going to share with you a success story that was emailed into me by one of my amazing clients. And as always, I'm going to read it, add my own 2 cents to it, and look at my notes. So as always, intend that you're going to get something out of this and that you're going to be able to use this in your own life. And I intend that for you because each and every one of you guys do deserve to have what you want in your reality. Also, let's see, I'm just going to go through this. So first of all, I really want to highlight some things here, okay? Guys, this is a journey, okay? This is a journey for everybody. It's a journey, okay? So do not think that you have to be perfect at manifesting, okay? Because right there, that's a block in itself, okay? The thing you want to do is realize it's a journey, and you can even make the intentions. I intend to get better and better at this. Also, you know, this person had a lot of success of changing her specific person. Okay, but I want to highlight as I go through the story, you're really not changing that person at all. You're not changing anything on the outside because everything happens in here. Okay, so you're doing all the internal work here. So you're changing your self-concept, and you're also changing how you perceive the person. Okay, so a couple of things are going on there. So that's why I don't think to say self-concept is enough to manifest. Self-concept is completely important, but you also have to change how you perceive the other person. So doing both those things is really important. Also, things we want to highlight here is that your feelings are not something that you want to dismiss or disregard, and how to use your feelings to help manifest what you want, as well as things, like I said, this is a journey, but things can change and move very, very quickly once you kind of understand how manifesting works and you get out of your own way and stop arguing for the reasons why it's not going to happen. And also not dwelling on the circumstances and not making things mean that there's something wrong with you, and not being afraid of feedback. Okay, getting on the court, really going out, like I said in a video, I think in the last video or maybe one before that, you know, this is not about you, you know, fixing yourself and then you're going to get what you're going to manifest. Okay. Oh, which is what I want to say before I even go into this success story is, you guys, it's not that you're not going to have negative thoughts. Okay. It's not. I've been doing this for a long time and I still have thoughts that come into my head. Okay. But it's what I do with those thoughts. It's what I do when things are presented to me. Okay. It's not that you just learn about manifesting and then, oh my gosh, I don't have any negative thoughts anymore. Like, I don't want anybody to think that, because maybe someday I'll be there, but I want to tell you at this point in my life, I still have negative thoughts that come in my head or unfavorable things. And I have a lot of great things. I don't want to like complain about my life, but I just want to say that this is a discipline. Okay, it is a discipline to watch what's going on with your thoughts and then changing them into favorable circumstances, and not being afraid if you have a negative thought coming in, not being afraid of that feedback that comes in that you might not like, okay, and what to do with that. So I'm going to go ahead and delve into the success story here. Dear Create Your Future and Megan, Create Your Future and Coach with Megan has changed my life. Oh, I'm so happy. And she's really done the work too. So, you know, she's someone I meet with on a weekly basis. And we really talk through things that she takes I just want to kind of toot my horn toot her horn, because she's amazing. She'll take what I say and she'll really put this into her own life. And really, really, you know, go out on the court, so to speak, and try these things and do it out of session. Okay, so we work through things in session to work through what I think the blocks, limiting beliefs are, what's going on, what feedback she's getting. We work through it, and then she's able to take what's happening and then in the minute to minute go out and do this on her own. So anyway, just want to say that. So I owe you a big thank you, Megan, for all the support and guidance, which have literally transformed me. Aw, I'm sorry, that touches me. Thank you so much. Megan suggested I catalog my successes to remind me of all the amazing things I've manifested so far and encourage me to keep persisting so I get everything I desire. And I do, I think that everybody should keep a journal that they manifest, because, sometimes when things unfold, they seem so like, that would have happened anyway. That's a coincidence. But really, a lot of my clients, I suggest to do this is to keep track of what they've manifested. Look back what you wanted before and look what back came to fruition. And you're going to start being able to see how you are so powerful and how you're created all, because the number one rule in all this is your imagination is creating every single thing. And your imagination is not sitting in the dark place, and meditating for hours, 24/7. Your imagination is always on. You're manifesting 24/7. Somebody said one time to me, this manifestation just doesn't work. I don't think I'm going to, I don't believe in it. Well, that's okay, but it's not going to help you, because guess what? You're still manifesting. So it's not just, sometimes people think that you're just manifesting to get something. But the thing is, the logic behind this is you're manifesting all the time. So you might as well start using your thoughts to align with what you want. Okay. So again, that's the number one thing. And the other thing is treat everybody else how you want to be treated. Okay. Which is a really big rule to think about. It's a commandment. I was listening to a Neville lecture the other day about that, but something I want to say about that is you also treat other people how you want to be treated. But the thing is, that's a great concept and we can get there. But if you don't think you're good enough and you're not really, you're blaming yourself for everything and not validating your own feelings, then you're not even going to be able to you're not even going to get what you want. So the other thing is also, like I said, changing the conception of yourself to also see you're perfect, whole, and complete, even with those things that you perceive as a flaw, okay? And loving yourself through that, because you are perfect how you are. And you would not have this desire if it wasn't supposed to come to fruition. Okay, so back to the manifestation, letter. I met my SP a little over 2.5 years ago. We are both musicians and share the same PR agent. The PR agent was in town and staying with me and asked me last minute to come to lunch meeting she was having with my SP, which is a specific person, if you guys don't know that. We hit it off instantly in a couple of days. He was calling me, asking me out for drinks. We had a strong chemistry and connection. We both felt it right away. I was so happy and excited. I felt the same way about him. But then after 2 or 3 months, my SP started to pull away and say he wasn't ready for a relationship. I started getting lots of mixed messages of hot and cold behavior. Yeah, that happens to a lot of people, because sometimes, a lot of us will hit it off right away with somebody, but then our fears about ourselves or love or our past thoughts about relationships and how things didn't work, those subconscious beliefs start coming in, and we subconsciously start pushing that person away because we think we're protecting ourselves. But we start changing our perception about ourselves. We start changing the perception about our specific person. And that's why sometimes things look like they're going really well and then they get bad. Or we also probably just have that limiting belief that, things are great in the beginning, but then relationships can change over time. So you can make an intention, which I did a video before, is just make the intention that, my relationship gets better and better with time. We grow closer and closer together. Our relationship's like fine wine. It gets better with time, whatever you want, but if that's your limiting belief, if that's your belief and that's going on autopilot, that's something you want to be aware of and start changing. So back to the story. That summer, my SP was going on tour. We planned to go to a concert to do something special together before he left town. The last minute, he canceled on me and pretty much ghosted me that night. I was so hurt and I felt devastated. That's when I started searching YouTube for relationship coaches and finally discovered LOA and Create Your Future. I started listening to every video and learning everything I could. I started to see some success with manifesting. After a few months on my own, I decided to get coaching and I chose Megan. That's when things really started to happen. We have been coaching for over a year now, and I'm so grateful. It's been a process and a commitment. But I have learned so much about myself and how I create my reality in all areas of my life. I just want to say that I just got chills about that, because you're exactly right. My client is exactly right. So I want to say this to everybody, you guys, it is a process and it is a commitment. It is a totally different way of looking at life. Okay. And you're not going to be perfect at it right away. Like I said, it's a journey. And that's what I'm here for, is to listen to what you're saying and help you and help figure out how to incorporate this in your own life, and as well as encouraging you when you have those times. And sometimes, when you have times that things aren't showing up unfavorable, or also when you want to celebrate either one of those times, okay? Because again, this isn't something you learn about and then all of a sudden, okay, I get it right away. Sometimes it's very helpful to talk to somebody and be coached through this stuff. So here are some of the things I've manifested with my SP after working with Megan. Oh, and I love these things because I'm so happy that she's sharing this with you guys, because it's her perception of what's happened and what she's manifested. And she's been so successful over this past year and a half, so successful with so many different things. So I'm going to share what she wrote here. In 2000, so here's what I manifested. In 2020, we went on 5 overnight trips. They were romantic, passionate, so much fun. We grew closer each time, and on one trip, he told me he loved me. I wanted him to say my name when he said he loved me, and he did. And that was something we worked on in session, and she was so excited when that happened. Because again, you can affirm, if you want your specific person to say something to you specifically, there's nothing wrong with that. So don't label yourself as needy, or that there's something wrong, or you're nagging or anything like that. You can have what you want. Again, you would not have your desire if it wasn't supposed to come to fruition. And that's something that this client and I talked about a lot, is you are not selfish for your desire, So that was something she wanted. She wanted him to say, I love you, and say her name. And he did that. He's been on tour this past month and asked me to come and stay with him 3 times already. And remember, before he canceled and didn't give her time of day and ghosted her. So this is the progress that she's been able to make. He said he missed me and was sorry if he ever took me for granted in the past. Aww. He thanked me for being there with him and told me what a support I was, and said he couldn't have done it without me. Remember that, she said it here too. Remember that tour he went on the first summer? We planned for me to come out to visit him on the tour. But when I got there, he didn't want to see me, and he didn't even come out and say hello to me. So now I've turned this completely around. All right. So isn't that amazing, you guys? And you guys can all have that same thing as well. And that's just persisting, committing to it, even when things don't show up, persisting into what you want to create. During the pandemic, we spent so much time together, and he was my person, and every chance he got, he was at my place. On my birthday, he surprised me by leaving me wine, flowers, a cake, and a card at my door. Later, we went to the beach for an overnight, and that was something also. She wanted something special for her birthday, and I know a lot of people want something special for their birthday, and you can manifest that. And remember, everything's empty and meaningless, but if it makes you feel special and loved, to have your specific person, and it does to me too, to have them, pamper you and do that, then you want to see them in that light. You set the intentions, and also see yourself and that self-concept as someone who is worthy of that, who can receive that. Okay. He also agreed to do church songs with me and make videos for Zoom church during the pandemic. And I do know that this version of the person that she had before was completely against that. So she was able to manifest that. And you guys, what I'm saying is, this wasn't a one-time thing. When I'm reading the story here, this is something that we worked on and that she wanted to manifest. So every time we had a session, there's different things that she wanted to manifest and work through that she was able to get. We wrote and recorded over 15 love songs together, all inspired by relationships. We're working on these as a duo. This is a dream manifestation come true. And you guys, she sent it to me, and they are amazing. Like, they sound so great. I get goosebumps every time I listen to them together. They're so great. He says so many things to me that reflect my affirmations and thoughts, and here are a few. Okay. And again, this is like amazing feedback. So something you want to catalog, because again, if you want your specific person to say something to you, say certain things that you want to hear, there's nothing wrong with that. And you can affirm those things and see it out pictured in your reality, because people are just mirroring your thoughts. So this is what he said. I am the perfect woman for him, and we are so compatible. He marvels at how 2 people can come together in so many ways. He showers me with affection and compliments, such as, you're beautiful and sexy, sweet, and brilliant. Aww. Says it feels like I'm his high school sweetheart, and he feels like he's 17 again when he's with me. I like that. That's kind of like freedom, right? Says he has never experienced passion like this or felt so free with anybody. I have totally manifested this. In the beginning, we got off to an awkward start. I haven't been with anyone for a few years after my divorce, and I had a lot of insecurities. At one point, he even criticized me and said I needed to learn a few things and didn't know how to handle a man. With my affirmations, I completely turned this around to always have fireworks in the bedroom and the best lovemaking ever. Okay, nothing wrong with that. That's something she wanted to affirm. He's called me his anchor and says I keep him grounded. He recently used the words commitment and taking things to the next level. And that, yay, everybody deserves that. Coaching with Megan has been invaluable. Aw, thanks, girl. That's so sweet. I appreciate you. I've learned so much about myself and my self-concept. This is a process of discovery and peeling the layers off the onion and becoming aware of limiting belief. Here are some of mine. That's so nice that she's going to share this. This is very vulnerable, but I think this will be helpful for you guys. Here are some of mine. Needing to be perfect to be loved. Feeling like, so she's saying that she felt like she needed to be perfect to be loved. Needing to earn love and always work hard for things, or feeling I don't deserve them. Feeling self-doubt, insecurity, feeling I would always be abandoned. If I spoke up or shared my feelings or asserted myself, and I see now that the self-concept reflects in every area of my life and relationships that I'm in. Okay, that's so true. That is a belief that a lot of people have. They feel like they need to earn their place in the relationship. They need to show their worth. They comes from maybe I don't deserve it, thing like that, or, a fear of abandonment. And the fear of abandonment was what's causing all those things, but realizing you don't have to be perfect. Like I said in the beginning of the video, you're perfect how you are. So starting to see yourself that way and starting to recognize, that your flaws are not a bad thing. They make you who you are, and, not trying to change yourself. And again, when you're changing your self-concept, it's not that you're really changing yourself so much, you're changing your perception of yourself, okay, as well as the other person. So you're changing your perception of yourself to see yourself as somebody who is already perfect how you are, that you don't have to change, that you don't have to chase somebody, that you don't have to prove your love, that you don't have to stuff your feelings, okay? And this is some of her limiting beliefs. Another huge key I've learned is this: don't be afraid of feedback or negative circumstances. You don't have to settle, give up, or go into a desire, because everything is changeable and malleable. Okay, that's 100% correct. In fact, it could just be a bridge of events, and you actually closer to your manifestation than you ever thought you were. Whenever my SP shows up and says things I don't want to hear, or he behaves in an undesirable way, it shows me where my blocks are and fears and what I need to affirm and change with myself. Okay, and that is so true, you guys. It is just feedback. So sometimes we feel, because, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way that we've looked at reality for so long. We feel like these circumstances are so unmovable, and what someone is saying to us, that they're just separate from us. And it feels so awful. But when you start realizing that everybody's just messengers to you and how you feel about yourself as well as them, you're going to take what they say as something as being golden, and you're going to take it, and then you're going to use that as feedback and start using this for your new affirmations, or living in the new end, or using a technique. Isn't it wonderful? Any of that stuff, but using that as feedback to see where your blocks are. Okay, so never be afraid of going out in the court and afraid of rejection, because nobody can reject you. Everybody is just playing the part that you assigned to them. Okay. Also, Megan helped me understand it's okay to feel my feelings and to be hurt or mad and express myself if I want to. I don't have to be a doormat or stuff my feelings. But then it's important not to dwell there and start affirming for the new version desired. And amazing how well this is amazing how well it works. It's amazing how much pain and suffering I avoid. Okay, that is so true, because, I think there's a misconception. Sometimes you hear people say, okay, they feel, I guess, sorry, I'm trying to put this in a way that's going to make sense for you guys. Sometimes you might hear, just ignore your circumstances. Okay, it's not really that you're ignoring it. You're taking that feedback. And if you have feelings, you don't have to stuff your feelings up and suppress or repress them. Your feelings are just a manifestation of your thoughts and yourself anyway. And again, if you start judging yourself and thinking, oh my God, I shouldn't be sad, I shouldn't be upset, you are judging yourself. Okay. And again, remember, you want to start perceiving yourself as perfect, whole, and complete how you are, even if you are upset, even if you are mad, okay? You're still perfect, okay? So you don't want to go down the route of berating yourself for those emotions. Go ahead and feel them, validate what you want, and then start affirming for what you want to create, okay? There's nothing wrong with that, because you don't want to sit there and beat yourself up for having a feeling. Again, you don't want to dwell there, and you don't need to go back, why do I have this feeling, you know, and you don't have to go back and dwell on that either. You can just quickly move on and affirm, okay? But don't beat yourself up for feeling sad or feeling like that you created this and, you know, you're a terrible person for that, you know? Like I said over and over again, this is just for you to realize you are so perfect how you are, okay? You really are. So where was I? Sorry about this. But then it's important not to dwell there and to start affirming for the new version and desired end. It's amazing how well this works, and it's amazing how much pain and suffering I avoid. I'm really happy to hear that, because I don't want anybody to be stuck in pain and suffering. And it can happen really fast. When I do this, I end up experiencing so many wonderful things with my specific person, and my desires start falling into place. I love that. That's it. It's golden. That's exactly what you do. Perfect. And you do deserve that, and each and every one of you do. It's so fun to see how my thoughts and affirmations are reflected back to me and how fast I can change things. Sometimes my specific person even says I'm reading his mind, because now he thinks it's all his idea. And amazingly, it feels as if undesirable things never even happen. Thank you so much to create your future and all the coaches, and especially to you, Megan. Oh, that almost made me cry. Lots of love. Thank you. I just love it, because I just love her so much. I meet with her every week, you guys, and I just see her growth and change is really amazing. And you know, and that's just like some things I've already highlighted, but I just want to say it again, just because I really want you guys to understand this. This is a journey, okay? This is a journey. So you do not have to be perfect at manifesting. You don't have to figure out how this works, okay? All you want to do is kind of stabilize some things and stabilize your emotions, and then affirm for what you want, okay? And so again, to think you have to be perfect at this, that's just beating yourself up. And that's a block in itself, because I said this whole process is realizing that you're perfect anyway, okay? So you're also changing. So anyway, I want to say that journey. One more thing about that, because it sometimes appears that people are changing just like that, okay? Or things happen so fast for some people, and that can be discouraging sometimes when you hear that. So I want to say over and over again, this is a journey, okay? So do not put that pressure on yourself that you need to be extremely perfect at this. And if you're not getting that text right now, here and then, that manifestation doesn't work, or that you're a failure at manifesting, okay? You need to start, you know, practicing this and realizing, how do I manifest? How does this work? Realize it's a skill that you're going to learn a lot about yourself. And as the client said here, and I've said in other videos, it's about peeling an onion back of many layers of things that we've gone through in our lives, okay? And that's a journey, okay? And there are those stories that we're telling ourselves, and we can affirm we have no limiting beliefs, and that's a great affirmation. But what I notice with a lot of my clients is they're normally arguing for their limitations, okay? And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Wow, that's something you don't want to continue. There's nothing wrong with you because you're perfect. But that's what I'm here, is to start listening to what you're saying to help you figure out, because, you know, sometimes we just have these things on autopilot that we don't even realize that what we're saying, how many things we're arguing for our limitations. And again, that's why I said this is a journey of learning things about yourself, self-discovery. Because again, you're changing your conception of you and how you perceive yourself, okay? As well as how you perceive the other person, okay? So again, you're not changing anything really out there, okay? It seems like you're changing the other person, but you're selecting a different version that already exists, okay? And the version that's showing up now is because your thoughts have created that version, okay? And you're perceiving that person in that way. So it's, you know, it's changing how you view yourself, as well as how you view your specific person, okay? And seeing the best in both of you, okay? And again, this isn't about being a doormat, okay? It's about actually seeing what's showing up, and then, you know, saying if I like it or don't like it. You don't have to ignore it right away. You don't have to like judge yourself for creating it, but it's, you know, acknowledging it, okay? So I always say this power of awareness, being aware of what you're thinking, okay, but it's not staying there, okay? So you're aware of it, and then you start affirming for what you want. You're not ignoring it completely. You start focusing more on the solution. And what is the solution? It's what you desire, okay? It's what you desire. And it's quieting that mind that wants to figure out the how, to figure out, is this selfish? How is this going to happen? When's this going to happen? You know, all these questions, which are a block in itself, or even how does manifesting work? Okay, that can even be a block. You don't even have to figure that out. You can just say it works. I intend for it to work, to get results. Okay. Also, so you change your conception of yourself and the specific person. So for her, she started seeing him as somebody who was, before she created someone who was stubborn, who was just very, I can't think of any other word because we were talking about in sessions, but someone who was very closed off, very stubborn, very set in his ways, only wanted her around when he wanted her around, okay? And when that started showing up, you know, she became very hurt about that. But instead of quickly going into affirming, because that was a pattern she'd been creating for a while with men in her life. I have to prove my love. If they say this, and I need to work on myself. I need to be more pretty. I need to dress better. I need to have this outfit. I need to cook this great dinner. I need to earn love this way. Okay, that's stuff that we have learned from past programming, and you don't have to do that. Okay, you want to go internally, see yourself as perfect, whole, and complete, and someone who's worthy of these things. Like I used the example for her birthday. She saw herself receiving these things, being worthy of this and wanting it, and seeing him as somebody who wanted to give that to her as well. Okay, so those two things is changing her conception of herself and the conception of how she perceived her specific person as someone who's more giving. I think she created an affirmation one time that he was a teddy bear, because before, remember, we said that he was pretty stubborn. So change him into someone who is such a softy teddy bear for her, who wanted to do those things for her. Also, I wanted to remind you to, I guess I already kind of said that, but don't be afraid of your feelings, okay? Your feelings are just a manifestation of you anyway, so don't judge yourself for having your feelings. You can have your feelings and still manifest, okay? They don't have to get in your way. You know, you're making up your rules anyway. And again, like I said before, you're happy, you're healthy, whole, and complete how you are. So don't beat yourself up if you're having a bad day. You know, just start focusing on what you want to create. And don't be afraid of your feelings. Don't judge them. Okay. You are not your feelings and thoughts. That's not your identity. Okay. If you could start realizing that more and more, you're going to feel less attached to your emotions. And also things can change. Okay. So things can change very quickly. That's what she said. Once she did this process, it can change very quickly. It doesn't have to take forever for these things. But, you know, the thing that does take the commitment is starting to be aware of what you're thinking, and being aware of, you know, that little voice in your head that's like, no, you can't have this, or how's it going to happen? And getting rid of those limiting beliefs and the arguing for why it's not going to happen, letting go of all those beliefs and just starting to focus on the story and the affirmations that you want to create, the person of yourself living in the end that you want, as well as a specific person and how you want them to show up for you. Also, do not dwell, because this client, I have a lot of clients, do not dwell on what's wrong with you. Okay, do not make this harder than it is. We have to go back and think, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Why am I insecure? Why am I this way? Maybe if I didn't go through this experience, I wouldn't be this way. Again, I'm not saying to repress all those things, but don't stay stuck there. Get over that. I'm sorry, that sounds really harsh. I love you guys. What I'm trying to tell you is just not to go down a path in that rabbit hole of trying to think that there's something wrong with you. If something shows up that you don't like in your reality and you don't feel good about it, you don't have to go down the path and think that there's something wrong with you. Okay? A way quick, easier way is to see what's not showing up and affirm for what you do want to show up. So don't dwell on that situation. Try not to dwell on it. You're human, so if you have a reaction, react for a second and then react for a minute. Don't make it mean that you're ruining every single thing, but then get back on the horse, so to speak, and start affirming for what you want. And again, circumstances don't matter, okay? And it's not something that you want to, I guess that's the thing I'm trying to say, is take your focus away from the circumstances as much as you can. Okay, take your circumstances away from it, because the more you focus and feel like the thing is so unchangeable and immovable and outside of you, it's going to still stay there. So, start affirming for the new version of your specific person and yourself. Okay. Start changing the conception, start feeling it within yourself of what would that look like? How would I feel? What would be happening? Changing that, because what you're usually doing all day long, and I love you guys, and I've been there and I've done it myself, is arguing for our limitations, arguing with our specific person all day long. Why don't you love me? Why aren't you doing this? Okay. And you want to start taking that, what's showing up, what you don't like, and listening to those conversations, and then changing it and affirming for what you do want. Okay. And sometimes I understand that's a process and a journey. That's why I keep saying that. So I don't want you, a lot of people say, well, I created this, and then they stay stuck in this. It's their fault because they created it. And that's something I don't want you guys to take away from this video either. Yes, we do have 100% responsibility, but dwelling on the fact that there's something wrong with us and that it's our fault is not where we want to stay. Okay, that's not going to help you get your desire of what you want to create in your reality. So, so thank you so much for sending this video in. And if you guys are interested, because like I said, this is a journey and a process. If you're interested in coaching can be valuable for a lot of people, because these are these things that we don't realize that we're saying all day to ourselves, and those things are autopilot. Okay. And that's what I'm here is, again, to listen to that, to figure out how this can work in your life. Okay. Because I come up with different plans for every single client based on their personality, based on their lifestyle, based on what can help, kind of feel natural for them. Okay. So that's what I'm here to do, to help you do it. But as well as this client, she did, which I'm so proud of her, is she worked and did it on her own. And that teddy bear affirmation, she did that in the heat of the moment. I was so proud of her. So, that's what also I do. I'm here, but I also want to help you to figure out how to do this out of session when I'm not there. Okay. And that's my main goal, is to help you. Like she said, she changed her whole entire life and her self-concept. I mean, each and every one of you guys can have anything you want in your reality, anything you want, and you deserve it. Okay. And you're not being selfish for it, or anything like that. You can have what you want. So it's a journey. You're changing your conception, how you perceive yourself, and your specific person. And, your feelings do matter. It's not about suppressing or repressing. So, kind of working through, that's what I'm here to do as well, is help you work through your emotions and feelings as well. And then learning how to change it, okay? And learning how to incorporate this in your life where it's going to feel like you're committed to it, but also that you can also live your life as well, that you're not sitting here, in a dark room 24/7 affirming for what you want. So incorporating, so living your life, and actually just becoming, number one, is the best version of you, okay? Because the best version of you deserves everything, any version of you deserves anything in your reality. I'm not saying that, but the thing that you want to take away from this, again, that I've said a million times, you are completely perfect how you are. Okay. You're completely perfect how you are. And changing that perception of yourself is going to also help you change the perception of your specific person. So you change your perception of yourself, as well as how you perceive the other person, because again, they're not outside you. They're just reflecting what's going on in here. Okay. And I understand sometimes it can be really hard when something shows up in your reality that you don't like. Okay. Or that doesn't feel good. So, navigating through that stuff and realizing, but I do want to say, that it is feedback. And when somebody tells you something you don't like, it can be golden. And also, like the client said too, sometimes it can be going really well, and then when something bad happens, and that's just a bridge of events to get you there. Okay. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I appreciate you so much for sending that in, my client. And I intend that every single one of you gets something out of it. And again, I'm available for coaching. The description's in the link below. I think I'm filling up pretty fast for July. If you need more help, send an email. if you're having trouble scheduling. And also I have a couple self-paced courses that are also in the description and link below. And a lot of people are having a lot of success with that. If that's something that you'd be interested in as well. All right, guys, I really, really do appreciate you. And I intend that you guys all get what you want in your reality, because you really, truly, truly deserve it. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. And I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye-bye.